Hello everyone, welcome to Gagan's virtual classroom. Today we'll read the poem The Last Bargain by Rabindranath Tagore. It is from 8th class NCERT book Honeydew. Now this video contains a line by line explanation of the poem in simple English. Also we'll discuss the poetic devices used in the poem. एंड आगे बढ़ने से पहले आपको बता दूं कि अगर आपने सेम एक्सप्लेनेशन हिंदी में देखनी है तो नीचे डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स में दिए गए लिंक को क्लिक करें. ओके, सो नाउ लेट्स गेट स्टार्टेड. फर्स्ट वील सी व्हाट द पोएम इज अबाउट. द पोएम कन्वेज अ मैसेज दैट फ्रीडम एंड इनोसेंस आर अनपैरेलल्ड. Power, wealth, or lust cannot make us content. So in this poem, the poet has tried to give the message that no amount of power, lust, or wealth can give us as much happiness as freedom and innocence. So these two are unparalleled. Even if we are extremely rich or powerful, we will not be content if our soul feels imprisoned. The speaker in the poem is a worker who is looking for a job. He wishes to be hired without losing his freedom. So the speaker is a worker in the poem who wants to work but not at the cost of his freedom. The poem is a blank verse. It has 4 stanzas. So there are 4 stanzas and it is a blank verse, which is also called free verse, which means that there is no rhyming scheme. Now let's read this text which is given in our textbooks before the poem. The text may not be clear here, so we'll look at bigger font. Now the title of the poem is The Last Bargain. Now what does bargain mean? A bargain is an agreement in which both parties promise to do something for each other. So bargain means to find a middle ground or to reach an agreement. For example, when person A is willing to do something or when he is willing to give something to person B in return for something else, that is a bargain. Someone is looking for work, waiting to be hired. He strikes a bargain but thinks it worthless. He tries twice again but does not like either. So the speaker in this poem, who is a worker, he tries to strike a bargain 3 times, but he is not happy with what he is promised in return. So he does not accept the offer. Finally, in the last bargain, when he is hired for nothing whatever, he is happy as never before. What is the bargain and why is it the best? So in the end, when he gets work in return for nothing, that is when he is the happiest. So why is that? What is the bargain and why is it the best? This we'll read the poem and find out. Now this is the first stanza. Come and hire me, I cried, while in the morning I was walking on the stone paved road. So the speaker says that it was morning time and I was walking on the stone paved road. Now look at this picture. This is the stone paved road. It is not cemented, but stones are used to cover the path to make it fit for traveling. So it is called stone paved. So he says that I was walking on a stone paved road and like a vendor or a hawker who shouts out his wares, in the same way he was calling out to people to give him work. Sword in hand, the king came in his chariot. He held my hand and said, I will hire you with my power. So he says, just then a king came in his chariot. Now chariot is this vehicle that you can see in the picture. So it is either 2-wheeled or 4-wheeled vehicle which is usually drawn by horses. So the speaker says that the king came in his chariot and he had a sword in his hands. And he said that he will give the speaker, the worker, the work in return for power. But his power counted for naught and he went away in his chariot. But the speaker says that his power counted for naught. So naught is an old English word which means nothing. So in old English, people used naught instead of nothing. So the speaker says that the king's power meant nothing to him. He was not impressed by his power, so it seems he rejected the offer. That is why the king went away in his chariot. Now we look at the poetic devices used in this stanza. Okay, first of all, this poem is a blank verse like we already discussed. It is a free verse, which means that there is no rhyming scheme in this poem. For example, if you look at the last words of all these lines, they do not rhyme with each other. Like morning does not rhyme with road, or road does not rhyme with chariot. So neither of these words they rhyme with each other. They do not sound the same. So there is no rhyming scheme, there is no pattern. So we say this poem is a blank verse. Next poetic device used is alliteration. Now, what is alliteration? When the same sound occurs at the beginning of closely placed words, it is called alliteration. For example, if you see this line, he held my hand. Now, in this phrase, he held my hand, these three words, they are placed closely together and they begin with the same her sound. So, this is an example of alliteration. Next poetic device used is symbolism. Now, what is symbolism? Symbolism means when an object or a person or an idea, it means something deep and not what it literally means. For example, in this poem, if you see in the stanza, the speaker says that a king came in his chariot and he had sword in his hand. So you see this whole image, this image of a king on his chariot with a sword in his hand. It symbolizes the epitome of power. So that is the symbol of power. And again, in the morning, this morning time symbolizes hope. So the speaker, in hope, he started out looking for a job. So there is a lot of symbolism used in this stanza. Now we'll look at the next stanza. In the heat of the midday, the houses stood with shut doors. I wandered along the crooked lane. Now the speaker says that it was midday, the afternoon time, and it was very hot, and the doors of all the houses were shut. And the speaker was still in search of job. He was roaming in the crooked lane. Now crooked lane, if you look at this picture, the path which is not straight but bent and twisted, it is called crooked. So he was walking in that lane. An old man came out with his bag of gold. He pondered and said, I will hire you with money. So just then an old man came out with bag of gold with money, and he said that he will hire the speaker with money. He weighed his coins one by one, but I turned away. So it seems the old man, the rich man, to convince the speaker, he weighed his coins one by one, but the speaker did not get impressed by his money, by his wealth, and he rejected the offer. So again, the second offer that he got, he rejected it. Now let's look at the poetic devices in this stanza. So symbolism has been used throughout the poem. In this stanza also, if you look at these words, heat, then shut doors, crooked lane, stone paved road, all of these words or phrases, they suggest that life was not smooth for the speaker. For the person who's looking for a job, life was full of hardships and difficulties. Since you see it was very hot for him, doors were shut for him, lane was not straight, the road wasn't straight, it wasn't smooth, it was stone paved, so it was uneven road. So all of these symbolize that life was full of difficulties for him. And if you look at this, an old man came out with his bag of gold. Now this symbolizes wealth, riches, or prosperity, abundance. Now, next poetic device used here is alliteration. Let's look at the last line. He weighed his coins one by one. Now, here the words placed together, weighed, one, again one, these start with the same sound. The sound is were. Many students get confused that weighed starts with W and here it starts with O. Again, one starts with O. How come this device is alliteration? But it's not the same letter that we look for. We have to look at the same sound. Now the sound here is were, weighed, one, one. So this is an example of alliteration. Now let's look at the next stanza. It was evening, the garden hedge was all aflower. The fair maid came out and said, I will hire you with a smile. Now it is evening time and the garden hedge was all aflower. So it was full of flowers, the hedge. Now what is a hedge? Look at this picture and here also. the boundary or the fence that we make in our gardens by closely growing shrubs or bushes. So, when we grow bushes and shrubs close together and to form a boundary or a fence, it is called a hedge. So, a fair maid, a beautiful girl, came out and said, I will hire you with a smile. So, she said that she will hire the person with her beauty. She tried to convince and impress the worker with her beauty. Her smile paled and melted into tears, and she went back alone into the dark. Now, the person in the poem, he knows that beauty is short lived, it does not last long, it fades away. So, he rejected this offer. So, the beautiful girl's smile turned into tears, and saddened, she went back alone. Now, the third offer was also rejected by the person. Now, the poetic device used in this stanza is symbolism. If you look at these phrases, garden hedge was all a flower, it was evening time, fair maid. So all of this symbolizes beauty. So symbolism has been used in this stanza as well. Now let's read the last stanza. The sun glistened on the sand and the sea waves broke waywardly. Now the speaker describes that the sun was shining on the sand and the sea waves were crashing onto the shore waywardly. Waywardly means in a manner which is difficult to control or predict. A child sat playing with shells. He raised his head and seemed to know me and said, I will hire you with nothing. Now he says that he saw a child sitting there playing with shells, and the child looked at the worker, the speaker, and said that I will hire you with nothing, that I will give you nothing in return and you can work for me. From henceforward that bargain struck in child's play made me a free man. And the speaker says that the offer which the child gave, that was the best bargain, since it did not take away his freedom. So this work that the child offered him made him a free man. So he accepted this last offer. Now we'll look at the poetic devices used in this stanza. The first is alliteration. Let's look at the first sentence. The sun glistened on the sand and the sea waves broke waywardly. Now here the sir sound has been repeated. The words sun, sand, sea, they are written close together, and the repetition of sir sound, there is a repetition of sir sound. So it is an example of alliteration. And also look at the last line, made me a free man. So these three words, made, me, man, these are also placed together and they begin with the same mer sound. Again an example of alliteration. The second poetic device is symbolism. Now again look at these phrases. The sea waves broke waywardly and a child sat playing. So these two phrases, they suggest childlike behavior which is unpredictable, innocent, undisciplined and uncontrollable. So these phrases basically symbolize freedom. So this was about the poem. I hope you understood it. And if you have any doubt or suggestion, please write in the comment section below. एंड आपको एक बार फिर से रिमाइंड करवा दूं कि अगर आपने सेम एक्सप्लेनेशन हिंदी में देखनी है तो नीचे डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स में दिए गए लिंक को क्लिक करें. थैंक यू.